don't know about this, love. I love these birds. They're going to have a hard old flight here today. They've been flying now 4 hours and 3/4.
There's not much wind.
I'll tell you what, they're going to be
very hot.
They're going to be very tired when these birds get back in.
Yes, they want a long drink. Have you topped up the drinker?
Yeah, I'll put some water in the drink.
Fresh water.
There's nothing wrong with this bird up here. Listen to him. He never stops, does he? He's enjoying it up there. I think I'd better be getting down into that loft, don't you?
Yes, I think you should.
Well, they should be here within the next 10 minutes, I think. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or thereabouts. So I'll get myself down there. I just finished my service with the RAF and came out, and I'd only been demobbed a few months when I met with a road accident which completely severed the optic nerves. These pigeons here, they've done a wonderful job for me, these birds. They've given purpose to a life which might so easily have finished up on the human scrap heap. You know, they've done such a good job for me, and I think it would be true to say that they have been the salvation of my blind life. I've always had either rabbits, dogs, birds, or pigeons in my sighted life, and I thought, well, there's a desperate need now for a hobby, and I thought about it quite a lot. As a matter of fact, I gave a great deal of thought to it whilst I was laying in hospital, and I decided that perhaps the pigeons would offer me the most, since you can handle the pigeons. I decided that I would build my own loft. I came home from work, and such was my enthusiasm, I threw the harness from my guide dog up onto the coal bunker, got into a pair of dungarees, went down to the bottom of the garden, and started building on my loft. And when I set to, the blueprint was just in my mind's eye, and I hammered into the night until sometimes 2 and 3 in the morning, quite unconscious of the darkness that had come down. By the time I'd finished, to show for it, I had 3 bandaged fingers and lost the goodwill of my neighbours through banging all night. Now, in 1980, I was waiting for pigeons from the Poor National, when my wife said to me, she said, here's a pigeon coming. And you know, this is absolutely poetry, to see a pigeon, after a 14-hour flight, shut its wings and plummet for the board, spilling air. It's a most wonderful thing. Of course, I can no longer appreciate that, but when I hear the flurry of wings, it sets the adrenaline flowing and the heart thumps and the mouth dries, and it's a most wonderful feeling. Well, I didn't realize at that time that I was timing in the winner of the national race. I came down here, I got her into the clock, took the rubbers from her leg, got her into the clock, and my goodness, it very quickly became obvious as the afternoon wore on that I was winning the creme de la creme of all pigeon classics, which is the Pau Grand National. Now, that is flown from the south of France, and there was 5,884 birds competing. And I was beside myself with excitement. And for some 10 days, I was stupefied by the incomprehensible belief that I had won the Pau National. It was something I'll never forget. I laid awake at nights on my bed, laid awake, and I just allowed the sweetness of success to flow over me. I laid awake so that I could savor it to the full. It was a most wonderful feeling. But very sadly, you've come to see me on a day when Janista, which is my reputation has been made by, she died this morning of heart failure between 5 and 6, and I have laid her to rest beneath that beautiful shrub at the end of the loft here, and she's laid to rest there under the Janista tree from which she took her name, and that is what we christened the Janista. Most wonderful pigeon, and I'm very, very sad about it all, as you can naturally appreciate.
Jay Jackson, the first time I met him, he shook my hand and that, and I really felt important, and he just made me feel great, and he's some man, and sometimes I read about his pigeons and that, and only maybe one time I could be like Jed. got a hernia and I can't play football. The pigeons, they're my hobby now and I really like them. I've got about 15 youngsters that my dad gave them to me, and there's some people that's bred them for me, like people that have won the national and that, and they've given me pigeons as well.
Come on then. Come on. Come on. Come on then. He's letting them go too quick. Maybe because of his disability and that Jed has, he thinks there's nobody like Jed Jackson. Come on then. Come on. Someday maybe he'll be like Jed Jackson and he'll come along and win the national. That's my girl. Come on. I can. I've been catching you too many times. I can. Come on. Come on. In you go. In you go.
Once the pigeon settles, we turn him on a turntable and get him square on. This pigeon's a lovely poser. I use a stick just to lift their beak slightly to get them square. Come on. Usually I take 3 or 4 shots just to make sure I get what I want. Come on. That's it. This is my grizzled cock Kenny. He's won 6 firsts for me in all, and he's a problem in the box. That's the killer instinct. Sometimes they could take as long as a quarter of an hour. I've got him.